What is the meaning of the word cat? What is the meaning of the word dog? Is the word a translation into another language? Is that the meaning? Instead of saying man, if I said in French l'homme, then do I have the meaning? One word is not the meaning of another word. See? The word signifies something, points to something. The Sanskrit word for an object, any object, any entity, any state, is padartha, an object, concrete or abstract. The word padartha itself means the meaning of the word. An object, whether concrete or abstract, is the meaning of a word. So what's the meaning of the word rug? Meaning of the word rug is a silent pointing of the finger to the rug. And whatever you find there, through an experience, that is the meaning of the word rug. Whatever experience, concrete or abstract, a word points to, a word signifies, that experience, again concrete or abstract, is the meaning of that word. So whatever experience in meditation your mantra leads to, that experience is the meaning of your mantra. That is one redefinition we need to get used to. Second redefinition we need to get used to is the multi-level meanings of words, just as we have multi-level experiences of objects, whether concrete or abstract. What do I mean by multi-level experience of an object? Take, for example, this very microphone I am wearing around my neck. To a person in geometry, a student of shape and form, or an artist, it's a shape, it's a cylindrical shape. To an electronics expert, well, it is a magnetic disc with some apparatus inside which converts sound into electric current and then reproduces that electric current back into magnetic vibrations in a magnetic disc in the speaker, which then is heard as a sound again. To a metallurgist, it's a combination of metals. To an atomic physicist, it's a field of energy, made concrete in the form of atomic nuclei and the electrons and the molecules and so forth. But to a public speaker, it's just a microphone. So you take any object and you have there its multi-level function and multi-level experience. The way a tailor looks at a shirt is not the same way a prospective bridegroom looks at a shirt who is buying the shirt to wear it. Both have two different experiences of the same object. Not only that, we have multi-level experiences of the same object. See, a lady buys a dress, she has to make some alterations in it. So she rips the seams and cuts out a portion and sews it. Her experience of the dress at that time is entirely different from the experience of the same very dress she has when she is wearing it in a party. Two different experiences. But the dress is the same. This is even more so the more we move from the concrete to the abstract. It becomes more and more refined, more and more powerful, more and more energetic, more and more pervading, pervasive, because there is one cosmic law by which the subtler, the finer, is always more powerful than the grosser and the coarser. See? So, as the experience of the mantra becomes more and more refined in the mind, its effect on us becomes more and more pervasive, and its finer meanings become more and more manifest. By the word meaning, again, we mean the experience. Take, for example, the simple mantra you have practiced for many months, Soham, which simply means I am that. That what? Or in the Bible it occurs as I am that I am. Now what is that I am? Did I speak about this before to this group, to you? We are constantly running after that. That something over there, way away. That something that happened in the past. That something that will happen in the future. That thing in the neighbor's yard. That thing in somebody's bank. That other, far away. We call it in India the attraction of the distant drums. You hear the drum, your ears perk up and you want to run after that. And throughout our lives we are running after, quote, unquote, that. Something away, something distant, something other, something not within me, something that I am not, something that I do not have or I think I do not have. The meditative experience is the experience of a unity. In fact, this word Soham first occurs in a very ancient passage dated somewhere between 3,000 to 4,000 years ago. And it says, that passage says, the splendor that shines in the sun, that I am. So I am that which I have sought in all my pursuits. There was the pursuit of the fulfillment of the self. In all my cravings was hidden the craving after the knowledge of the self. I am that which I have been searching for in things distant, in times distant, in pursuits of distant objects, things that I thought were away, were not within my reach, were within me. And there are enormous bodies of philosophical texts that expound this philosophy. I do not know whether it is true or not, whether a naturalist will corroborate this or not, but one of the analogies given is of the musk deer, whose musk, the smell of whose musk so overpowers him in the mountains in the Himalayas that he runs crazy trying to find the source of this fragrance and goes around searching, smelling every object. Where is this smell coming from? I do not know whether it is true or not, but that is the analogy I was made to read in the ancient philosophical texts. See? So this is one meaning of Soham. I am that. I am the splendor of the sun. All things distant. But now you repeat the same Soham, 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 So. It becomes Hang So. Some schools of yoga in fact refer to it as the Hang So mantra or Hangsa mantra. And that word means a white-winged swan, a pure, free, flying. I am that swan-like self. What swan is it? The word there is synonymous with the sun. I am the solar being, shining like the sun. See? Or it is merely the sound of breath. And the wings of the swan are the left and the right nostril. So, as you unravel the meaning of the symbol through your personal experience, the meaning of the word changes. And I can go on speaking on just this one word, Soham, and not stop. So it is with your mantra. Each syllable represents a ray of light. Each syllable represents a ray of the sun of consciousness that shines within you. And each ray gives forth in you the burst of appropriate energies. And when concentrated upon, it helps to draw inwards the energies that you have dissipated outwards. At the moment, our energies are dissipated in excessive flow of emotion, excessive flow of sexuality that sometimes makes us helpless, excessive flow of rationality whereby we fail to love, we become so rational, excessive flow of just plain simple kinetic energy that just makes us keep on moving our hands and feet without any constructiveness, because we cannot relax, because we cannot draw that energy inwards that will make us still. And we think the more we move, the more energetic we are. In fact, the more we move, the more exhausted we become. See? But as you would read in the Bhagavad Gita or in the writings of Saint Teresa of Avila, as a tortoise draws its limbs inwards, so in prayer does the soul draw all its senses inwards. And the mantra becomes the center of that indrawing of energies, in making a still and yet powerful field of your energy being, your life, principle, your consciousness force. See? It is not a forced stillness, it is not a tying down of yourself, it is simply heightening the field of your energy, which then you can channelize by the use of a free will and not by the use of simple urges, reflexes, compulsions that leave you helpless. That is the work of a master. Now, how do you then refine your mantra so that it would become an instrument of indrawing and inward exploration? Initially, you simply begin with ordinary japa. Japa or japam, J-A-P-A or J-A-P-A-M, is simply the repetition of a mantra. But gradually we have to change the word into a mental vibration so that the word is hardly recognized as a word anymore. Now it takes a while to go there, to get there. Of course, as with any relationship, how much you put of yourself into it, that much you draw from it. See? People ask sometimes, how long do I have to keep meditating? And I say, how long do you have to keep going to sleep every night? How long do you have to keep eating every day? How long do you have to keep brushing your teeth and showering your body every day? It is a constant, regular, something new that you are adding to yourself, like brushing the teeth, like taking a shower daily. And as your practice improves, it will benefit you. You should really try to attend group meditations here regularly. When you are in town, you should do it at least once a week. You should come. You would not realize when you are here. You would not realize its benefits when you are attending it. But when you miss it, then you would realize its benefits. Yeah, Pavan.
You have the Thursday night initiate group meditations. Do they start like each quarter? I mean, like after you have a certain number of initiates?
No. The Thursday night initiate meditations have been an ongoing thing every Thursday for the last 7 years. And Thursday morning, 6 a.m., which does not have a lecture or anything, just meditation, has been going on now for nearly 3 years, every Thursday morning. And even if I am not here sometimes, or I'm traveling or something, the group is still there.
So it's not a progressive course?
No. I have given progressive courses also that you can attend. Sometimes I announce a weekend retreat on ways of deepening meditation. You can look out for that. Sometimes we have a day of long meditations. On the average, once a month or once every 2 months, I have a day of long meditations. I had one yesterday from 1 to, were you here? What time did we close? 1 to 5, 3 or 4 hours. No. And no, it would seem difficult. What do you think, Paul?
I know how much my knee hurts me.
Yes.
I think the influences are very subtle. You really, like you say, you realize it when you come on.
Yeah.
Here you don't.
No. And for example, people who have attended the sessions of long meditations 2 or 3 times already would find that their own personal meditation time suddenly takes a jump. If you sat for 15 minutes and you thought that 45 minutes was very long, when you sat for 4 hours, then 45 minutes seems nothing. So that kind of instruction is passed on, or sometimes, as you would read here, undertake an observance of doing so many repetitions within a given period of time, then come back, or ask questions, or if you are having a particular experience and it is a constant, only if it is a constant experience, write me a note. No. And if I see you, even in a group once a week, every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or once in a while, it helps us to establish a relation, helps me to assess and say, in a year's time, maybe 2 years' time, maybe 3 months' time, where you might make a subtle change in your mode of practice. On the other hand, if you have not been advised to make a change, then carry on with what you have. See, so but you need to remain on a lookout for these opportunities. We always announce these special progressive courses, or special weekends, or special weeks and months of practice, or special meditations. See? And if you remain on a lookout in the newsletter, in the announcements that are sent out, and really read them, you would find you can take the opportunities. No. Okay. Now, sometimes what I do in the morning meditations, Thursday morning meditations, is I do something progressive for a number of weeks on a given theme or something. Again, you have to, when the time comes, whenever it is convenient, right, seems right, I do that. Your own concentration in the practice of meditation should not be to seek the more advanced techniques. It does not matter how advanced a technique you use, but within the given technique, how well you advance. See, within the given technique, how well you advance. Curiosity is natural to a human being, but discipline is rewarding. And discipline means keeping to one practice and doing it over and over and over. Now, the refining of the mantra. I'll give you 2 or 3 different ways in which you can refine the experience of the mantra. Okay. Take, for example, a syllable. Take a sound. Take the first letter of the Sanskrit, Arabic, Hebrew, Greek, Latin, English alphabet. The sound of the letter alpha. Sound A. Now just say the sound A. Say A. Now in your saying that A, you just said A because by force of habit you know how to pronounce a sound. But you did it without self-observation. It's almost a reflex. But to say somewhere deep in the unknown, hidden recesses of your free will that makes a choice for you every micro moment of the day to say something, to cease saying it, to continue saying it, to make you move, to cease the movement, or to continue the movement. The free will operates. This will is conscious. It is the core of your life and its activity. It is the core of your consciousness. This free will somewhere said, all right, listen to this suggestion, say That is the first step in saying that your free will agrees and says, all right, I decide. I have a choice to say or not to say it. And I think at this moment I'll choose to say it. So the free will said to the mind, okay mind, would you set the chain of vibrations going? See. So your buddhi, your faculty of discrimination decides what chain of vibrations to get going from the mind. There's a tiny flicker of a vibration in the mind which is not yet a sound. It is the source of the sound, but it is a vibration of an energy field, a very fine vibration of an energy field called the mind. That vibration occurs in the mind and moves the physical energy in a corresponding area of the brain. So there is a tiny electric storm in the brain, in one part of the brain. A tiny release of sparks in the electricity of the brain. Some of those sparks are wasted because we have not yet learned how to use our brains. So most of the electricity is wasted, lost. But some is sent into the nerve channels. So there are these impulses going out from the nerves, and one message goes to certain area of the stomach where some air is stored, and the nerves say to the muscles, would you mind moving just a little to release a little burst of air upwards? So little burst of air goes upwards, and at the same time the message goes to the muscles of the throat and the voice box and says, I have sent a message down there to release a little burst of air, that air is coming up now, intercept it and watch it coming, and press the throat so much, contract it so much, open it so much, and get the tongue in position in relation to the teeth, the mouth, the tongue, the lips, just exactly in that position, mind you. Otherwise it's not going to be in sound of it's going to be sound of oo. So watch out there, it's coming now. So in anticipation of that burst coming, the throat, the voice box, the tongue, the lips, the teeth, the jaw, everything is arranged already. And as the burst of sound, burst of that air comes, the tongue just moves in the right proportion, right way, and there comes out the sound It creates a vibration in the air, and it goes to your ear, and then the process takes place in reverse, and your free will knows somebody said By the same process back. And I am told that in this process of reciting the sound, several billion neurological events take place. In this process of your saying the sound, several billion neurological events have taken place. Now imagine how fine a time factor would be involved in each one of those billion neurological events taking place in the process of your saying ah. And beyond the neurological events, what's happening beyond the brain, in the mind, in the faculty of discrimination, in the free will, in your consciousness. Now I would like you to say ah again, watching it from the beginning of the act of your will to the production of the sound. Now say ah with that self-observation. Now the sounds are much softer than the last time. Say it again. Watch the act of will and all the way out. Right. Now see the amount of time you took previously and the amount of time you took now. Now keep your mouth sealed. Do not send the sound. Just say in your mind. Do not send it beyond the brain. Now you would see that when you have it only at the level of the brain and the thought, the time span covered by that is much shorter, right? The vibration is much finer too. A yoga master, just as now you have experienced, let us say maybe half of the time vibration or a quarter of the actual sound, when you experience the sound only mentally, you're able to cut into half or into 4 pieces maybe. Right? A yoga master in the depth of meditation is capable of experiencing something like the 600th part, 600 times as fine an experience of the thought of how fine his neurological control, how fine his perception of time. And when you have fine perception of time, you have fine perception of space and of the series of sequences and causations and other principles that run the objects, alterations in the objects, experiences of the objects, experiences of life. His mind becomes that fine. So, when you practice your mantra, refine it. Go closer and closer to the sources of your being. Observe how the will is sending forth the thought. See? Observe it arising. Observe the process of each mantra thought being repeated in the mind. So you will spend some time practicing the mantra with the breath and making the breath as long and as fine as possible. Exhaling and inhaling. And by that refinement of the breath, long and fine breath and the mantra flowing once out with the exhalation, in with the inhalation, surprisingly you would find it easier to go to the core of your mind, and then you shift to the mental repetition, the mental japam. Yes.
Are you suggesting that we try to have the repetition of the mantra correspond with the length of the breath so that the mantra begins at the beginning of the breath and ends
Yes, yes. You correspond the length of the mantra repetition to the length of the breath. Exhale and think the mantra once along with the breath. Inhale and think the mantra once along with the breath.
So there really is no break or anything?
There is no break, no gap between the breath and the breath, between the mantra repetition and the mantra repetition. Okay, you do that and refine your breath diaphragmatically. Watch the even rhythm of your breathing. Watch the even rhythm of your breathing. Exhale and inhale. Exhale, think the mantra once along with the breath. Inhale, do the same. And breathe as though the breath begins from your mind. Now, as you do that, watch in the mind the mantra, how the mantra is flowing, how it arises. And gradually then you may forget about your breathing when you go into the depth of meditation for a while and let the mantra appear in the mind. Let the mantra appear in the mind. Let it become a remembrance. People say, well, it comes into the mouth. People say, I try to repeat my mantra mentally, but it comes under my tongue. It's very difficult to remember it only mentally. But I don't see that difficulty because all the time you are thinking silent thoughts. And if all your silent thoughts keep coming into your mouth, people think you're crazy. So if you can do it with all the other thoughts, why can't you do it with the mantra? See, you're walking along and suddenly you remember the name of a friend. Well, you don't call it out. The people in the bus would think, John, did you call me? No. See, so more than a repetition, it should become a remembrance. Something almost that you remember in the back of the mind, that we will be able to remember it not only in meditation, but also in the daytime through your other activities. Let it be something in the back of your mind. Okay? And refine the remembrance. Just watch it, watch how it arises, how the thought arises, by what process it appears. Each time as you repeat the remembrance of the mantra, observe the mind, observe the mantra. It's there, it's there, it's there. How is it arising? And do it in a relaxed manner, relaxed body, without tension. See? Yes.
Say you're sitting and part of your body starts rebelling. It's better to
Okay, to the rebellions of the body I'll come in a moment. Let me come to finish the refining of the mantra process. So then when you have done the mantra mentally for a certain time, with or without your mala beads, whichever way, then you come back to the breath again to close your meditation. Breath and the mantra together. Now, a great many people pay attention to the mantra and they are paying attention to each syllable. That is fine initially. But in fact, gradually, your mantra should become as it actually is in the superconscious mind. And in the superconscious mind, it is one complete single unit. And the syllables are as it were branches of a seed. You take a seed. In that seed, where is the tree? Where are the branches? Where are the fruits? Where are the twigs? Where are the leaves? And from that one seed, a tree grows and produces a million seeds, and from those million seeds, a million other trees grow. Billions upon billions, trillions of trees grow from that one seed, and they are all in that one seed as one single unit. That is why the word bead in the mala beads comes from the Sanskrit word bija, a seed. And the most potent mantras are known as the seed syllables. Mantras. And telling the beads, a monk telling his beads, actually means reciting seed syllables. And the mantra should move in your mind as though a crystal bead turning over and over and over, as a bead of the mala turns in your hand. It only follows the bija mantra, the crystal bead turning over and over and over in the field of your mind. The entire mantra then becomes one single unit. It becomes a spanda, a spontaneous vibration. Only then you would understand what the vibration of the mind means. Only then you would understand how the vibrations of the conscious mind arise from the depth of the superconscious mind. Now, I'll give you an example of how you do it. See, just sit as you are sitting, but relax your body. And I'll ask you 3 questions. One after another. You are not to answer the questions to me. In a very, very relaxed manner, observe how the thought that is the answer to the questions arises in your mind. You will find that the answer does not arise syllable by syllable. If you really look very closely at the very first flicker of the answer, it comes as one single unit of a thought. Only then, as it becomes grosser in the brain, it divides into syllables. It becomes a spota, S-P-H-O-T-A, a burst. It arises as a single seed, only then it bursts, only then it divides and subdivides. It becomes a spota, S-P-H-O-T-A, a burst. See, it arises as a single seed, only then it bursts, only then it divides and subdivides. So now just relax and prepare to observe, to catch the very first flicker of the thought which will be the answer to the question I ask. My first question is, now prepare to observe the thought that will arise as an answer. What's your first name? Now keep the thought right there, the answer. How the answer arises in the mind, where it arises. It comes as one single complete unit. Only then you might want to spell it separately. Relax completely, and I'll ask you a second question. And again prepare to observe the process of the very first flicker of the answer arising in your mind. What is your last name? Where it arises, you observe it. Maintain it there. Now relax. Relax completely and prepare to observe in the mind the answer to the third question arising. When you observe the very first flicker, maintain the thought at the level of that very first flicker of the thought. Do not let it go anywhere further. Relax your body, relax your jaw, relax your voice box, relax your mind, and answer to your mind. What is your mantra? Let the mantra remain there over and over and over. Observe the mind thinking the mantra, the entire mantra. Observe the process of each remembrance in the back of the mind. Open your eyes. I'll take you through a third process. Now sit straight. Draw your mind to yourself. Relax your limbs. Be aware of yourself alone. Let the thought that is your mantra appear in the mind. Now, since you are in company and the mantra is secret, do not sound it out aloud, but simply recite it with your lips moving. Now, as you did with the syllable A, watch the entire process. Watch the process of the mantra coming from the mind to the mouth. Now seal your lips, close your lips, continue to recite it with your tongue in the mouth, with closed lips, relaxed jaw. Continue to watch the process from the will to the speech. And now relax your shoulders, relax your neck, relax your voice box. Still your tongue, but continue to recite the mantra. Relax the root of your tongue. Relax your tongue, but continue to recite the mantra mentally. As you did in the case of your name, watch the first flicker of the mantra in your mind. Watch the process. Keep your head, neck and trunk straight. Keep your neck straight. All neck straight. Relax. Let the mantra appear in the mind and watch the mind thinking the mantra. Go to the very source of the thought as you watch the mind doing so. Now merge the mantra with your breathing, as though the breath begins from the mind. Continue to watch the breath and the mind, and gently open your eyes. You may move your body. 2 or 3 minutes of uninterrupted meditation will be as good as 30 minutes of interrupted meditation. See. 2 or 3 minutes of really uninterrupted meditation. 12 uninterrupted breaths without any other thought will give you a gentle touch of ecstasy and infinity. Ecstasy and infinity. Ecstasy of infinity. It will be as though you had compressed 30 minutes into 3 minutes. I always now recommend this procedure of using a voice. See, in the ashrams where yoga and meditation was really taught, see, the disciples lived with the Guru and practiced in his presence every day, and he led them through it day after day after day, the same voice, same words. See, nowadays we don't find that possible unless you come and spend a weekend here or something like that. even then my own time, your time, it just doesn't quite work out that way. And that's why, well, you can use the tapes. And for the initiates, I recommend 3 tapes, all 3. The tapes on breathing to meditation, then the tape of the initiate meditation by myself, which leads you to the refinement of the mantra in this way. And the tape of mantra to silence by Swami Rama.
Is that last one the one we heard today?
Yes. But you would not benefit from it unless you go through this second stage, this stage of refining the mantra from the speech to the thought. And then from there you come to the silence part. You understand? Now what to do with little physical problems and the knees hurt. I have 2 or 3 recipes, none of them absolutely warranty proof. Persevere. Go deep into your own meditation and forget the pain, but don't do it excessively. No. Don't do it excessively. Relax that part of the body. Say the knees hurt. Relax the knees, relax the thighs, slowly relax the muscles upwards and come back to the mind. Initially, a direct jump of the mind from the knees to the nose would sound like a long jump, and the mind would not want to run away from the hurting knees. But if you bring it gently, coax it gently, relax the knees, relax the thigh joint, relax the abdomen, relax the navel, and up to the nose, enter your breathing, enter your mind, becomes a little easier. Secondly, if you must change the position after the perseverance has been tested and the mind would not be coaxed anymore, then change the position, stretch your leg out or stand up. You can practice meditation even standing up. But keep the spine straight, keep the neck straight, relax the body again, go through the breath again, go back into the mind again. Make sure that the process of changing has not absolutely, totally disturbed your mind away from the practice. And thirdly, as you will meditate, you would find less. The teacher has the art of making you forget your pain for half hour where you could forget it only for 15 minutes on your own. See? And these are the 3 things I can say besides perseverance at this point. Okay, any other questions? Yes.
What are your remedies for random thought?
Remedies for random thoughts, all the remedies I know I have written in my book. There are a number of tapes, hundreds of hours of tapes actually, of various courses and lectures I have given on this subject. And I have given some retreats on deepening of meditation that you can sometimes inquire and listen to the tapes and so on. But there are 2 or 3 different things. I think I have spoken of these already in the beginning lectures. You see, random thoughts are produced by the same raw material that produces your dreams. They come because they are there. I'll find in my glass what I put in my glass. So one simple remedy for the random thoughts is the practice of yamas and niyamas. The practice of the general yoga principles of life and emotion. Read the Bhagavad Gita, read the Yoga Sutras, and refine the life. Okay. Make life free of tensions, disturbances, agitations. Make life productive, creative, positive. Okay. But even then, the residue that is already in the mind will still arise. See? It will keep arising until your meditation has been completely refined, completely purified. But that does not happen until you have completely refined and completely purified your karma. Watch the kind of thoughts that arise in the mind, and they will tell you, if you really watch them, if you really watch what kind of thoughts have arisen in the last 1 week, 2 weeks, 2 months, what the sum total of the residue of your karma is. What kind of thoughts are arising, which means that you have to go out into the world and complete the life's tasks in a positive manner. If the thoughts of a given quarrel are arising, you have to go out and settle that quarrel. And you have to settle it according to the first principle, the first yama, non-violence. See, you have to bring it to a positive, harmonious resolve and reconciliation. You have to heal the split that is in your mind. You have to heal the wound that is in your mind that is festering, which is the random thoughts. A particular Swami I know, he is now nearly 90, 95, was editor of a popular daily newspaper in his middle age in a city called Lahore, Lahore. The city is now in Pakistan. At that time it was all one country, it was India. He used to go away for 2 months every year to live incognito, into a little cabin and practice meditation. And he tells that one time he went, he could not concentrate, could not meditate. He says, I left my cabin, took the next train back home, did not go home, went to the neighbor's house with whom I had had a difference of opinion over some pipe. Whether or not he was wrong or I was wrong, I apologized. Brought the matter to a conclusion. Then took the train back to the cabin, had beautiful meditation. So bring a positive fulfillment to your karma. Yes?
Could you say something more about healing the split in the mind? What is the split in the mind?
All division you have is a split in the mind. You are divided against yourself every minute of the day. People have difficulty making a decision because they are equally divided in favor of two things all at once. When it becomes chronic and powerful, it becomes a neurosis. When it becomes even more powerful, it becomes schizophrenic. We are all crazy. Our minds, all of our minds are a little bit split. And those splits then show themselves in the form of opposition and antagonism. So you have to bring harmony to the mind.
I've noticed before that if I have a problem that I'm trying to solve, that if I just don't think about it, just sometimes a solution will occur. I'm wondering if a solution to maybe some of the bodily problems or to the random thought problems, if something should occur just out of the blue to individuals, is it okay to grab that and use that?
You can experiment. The question asked here is that sometimes if you just let go, the problem solves itself too. Yes, you can experiment with it. Most of the times, for us, it is difficult to determine which of our thoughts have subconscious origins and which of them really have a pure superconscious origin. While it is true that sometimes you're trying to remember somebody's name very hard and you say, it's there, it's in the back of my mind, I can't remember it. You try and try and try and you give up, and suddenly after 2 hours you go to the bathroom and because the body, Swamiji says, because the body is relaxed at that time, the thought occurs. See, and you remember the name. See, so you can do that and you can experiment with it. I would recommend your listening to the lectures I have given in the current series, last 16 lectures I have given on the Thursday nights, because I've dealt with this theme of problem solving. And yes, I would agree with you that if you let go, the problem solves itself. But it has to be a letting go, not burying, not procrastinating, not being lazy, not being escapist, but really letting go. It's now 5:15. I think we have absorbed enough for one day, and I would just say use the resources you have available here. I hate to say it, but I'll tell you that in this place here you have a unique resource. I don't know of any other place in the whole world where, for example, such a large tape library on yoga exists, dealing with every conceivable topic, except the one now in the institute that is in Chicago developing too. No, these two places. You can use the retreats and lectures and programs and stay in touch, remain in touch. And if you have questions, write me a note. Write me 2 lines.
Where do we put the note?
Oh, just leave it in the office. Put in an envelope, leave it in the office. No. But, pardon?
Just mail it to you?
Or mail it to me, that's right, yes. But don't write a 4-page letter. That waits for months. No. A 4-page letter is a long thing to read and it's difficult to find time to read. No. Bring that 4 pages to 4 lines down. 1, 2, 3, 4. It will help clear your own mind, and then I can answer those 4 lines in 4 words. No. Okay, and thank you very much. I'll see you. Your next courses, besides if you read about any weekend retreats and so on, beside that, and your 1-week retreat in August, you know about that?